I usually script these things. This time, I'm not going to, so my apologies in advance. I have a vague concept of the message that I'm trying to convey here, and so I'm going to do my best to just kind of get it out there, because who has time to type out a script these days? Every generation has had some sort of mainstream idealized concept of a utopian future, whether that be back around when science fiction was becoming this popular underground thing in the 30s and 40s with your who am I trying to think of? This is where scripts come in handy. Buck Rogers, that's what I'm trying to think of. Your Buck Rogers and your Flash Gordons kind of thing. Or then moving forward to when you had the Jetsons and the flying cars and kind of the sleek, the mid-century atomic thing going on for a long time, which has seen a resurgence lately. For my generation, we had something that's been talked to death, absolute beat into the ground. This has been covered. We had something that's now commonly referred to as Frutiger era, which was basically the most common example is Windows XP, Windows Vista 7 kind of thing, where you had the glossy, clean, at one with nature, very, very just clean, welcoming user interface kind of thing. And there were so many technologies that reflected this, you had your clear and colorful MacBooks that were coming out. So many clear technology. We need to bring back clear technology. That was peak. I collect that shit as much as I can. But anyway, the point, what I'm trying to get at here is that we are repeatedly, over and over and over again, promised this nice ideal of the future that we can all work for, and we can all strive towards, and we can all work together to achieve. And this was something that I found myself to be incredibly passionate about as a kid, and this concept of the future was something that I always held near and dear to me, and something that I was really excited for to live in and to be a part of one day. So why is it that we are promised this and shown this over and over and over again since the dawn of technology, basically? And it always feels like we get this close and then we lose it. Now don't get me wrong, we have some incredible technology these days that I could not have fathomed even as a child. Technological advancement has been huge in a lot of areas, but there are ways in which it could be applied and used that are much better than the things that they are currently being applied and used for. It's we have the resources and the capabilities as a society to end so many problems in this world, and instead we put that money and those resources into funding things and creating things that are meant seemingly more to keep us down than to improve on our planet and our society as a whole. People have made cars that run on literal water, and people have been working towards things like abundantly free energy since people like Tesla, someone who was ridiculed, shut down, documents stolen. I'll try not to go super conspiracy here. This has been a concept and something that many people have thought is feasible for a long, long time. And I think if you look in the right places, there's evidence that it is possible, maybe even already happening, but that's beside the point. And instead, we keep putting our resources into those that are profitable for a few, like fossil fuels, or things even like our smartphones have so much capability to be used for so many good things, and in a lot of ways they are. Obviously, it's been life-changing. There are many positives. There are a lot of great things. It's nice to be able to keep in touch with people. Okay, for better or worse. It's great to be able to keep in touch with people that you want to keep in touch with, from anywhere. That technological advancement is fantastic. And there's so many other positives And yet it's still seemingly so lacking in places where at this point it really just seems like it shouldn't be. Why are we pouring so much into like algorithms that are meant to like keep us like in the phone and not focused on our lives when we could be using the technology in tandem with a more healthy, centered life? We could be doing like the Frutiger Arrow thing, where technology and nature are at harmony with each other. That was the future that we were promised. See, now the gears are turning. Now I'm getting somewhere. Because that's what we were promised time and time and time again, and it can be a reality. I was going to say I'm a firm believer. I'm not just a firm believer. I think that's a fact that we have the capability to make that a reality. And it just kind of seems like the people at the top are not really allowing or wanting that to happen. One of the biggest things that fueled my drive for futurism, I think, was, go ahead, sue me, I know, was Disney as a child. Of course, me always having to be different, I was more obsessed with things like Tomorrowland and Epcot. Not as much the country's part of Epcot, more the future world part of Epcot. But they represented, to me, the future that could be, and it was kind of a way for me to step into the future that I wanted to be creating as an adult in the future. In the future. Of course, Tomorrowland being the more fantastical version of that, and Future World at Epcot being the more practical version. But why couldn't we have, like, you know, a nice combination of both, you know? Walt Disney's original plan for Epcot was to be an actual functioning city, complete with things like people movers. And if you really look into what his idea for Epcot really was, it was honestly revolutionary, and something that I really think that we should strive for, but logistically, after he passed, nobody's wanted to do it, even though it could really set us way forward as a society if we would stop being worried to cut through the red tape and just do it. We can do it. Like, all of these like limitations and stuff that we see as being imposed on us by society, we created the society. We did this, meaning we can just as easily undo this or change this. I don't understand why it's so far-fetched, or people are like, well, it's just the way things are. We made it this way. I don't just like take a step back and like look at that for a second. We did this. That part really does not make any sense to me. I don't think it ever will make any sense to me. We have the power to end these patterns. This is not a video about Disney, so I'm not going to like go super far down into that. But a concept like Epcot, I think, is something that's exactly what this world needs and what we need to actually do. The concepts from Frutiger Arrow of technology and nature existing at the same time. I was going to say what we should strive for. It's not what we should strive for, it's where well, it is, but it is not just what we should strive for, it is where we should already be and where we should have been a long time ago. And why are we not there? Some could say even with the new Epcot reimagining that's just happened, they've gotten away from this futurism aspect further. And I think the answer to that is kind of yes and no. They've been doing a lot of crazy things over there that I don't always think exactly fit, but at the same time, there's also a lot of things that do. The changing of Future World into the 3 new neighborhoods does kind of go, I think, more in this direction. World nature, world discovery, and world celebration. World nature obviously being nature, discovery being more about technology and innovation, and then celebration kind of being where those two come together while also acknowledging the people aspect, which I think is super important, and I actually do think, I dare say, it goes in the right direction. Because I do think that we should be using our technology with a more human-oriented approach. After all, we are the people that created it, so why would it not be for people. And then the tie-in with nature and bringing them together in that way, well, that's Rude Guerrero. And recently we have seen things as well with the previews of the new iOS being released, where they're bringing back more of like a gloss kind of look. I thought I saw somewhere that they might have cut back on it a little bit. I don't know. If they do follow through with that, I personally think that's fantastic. And we are seeing a trend as well, again, not that this is a design video, trying to bring so many concepts like together and make it cohesive and tangible. Anyway, we're seeing so many companies move away from the flat design that's been ruling our lives for the past 10, 15 years and go back to things that are more textured and more human and more real. And do we let this give us hope that this is maybe signs that we're finally starting to go in the right direction? I hope. I do hope. We can do it. We certainly can do it. I'm trying very much. I am, alas, one person. And I think I've got some good ideas from time to time in the noggin up there. I do my best to put these things into motion and speak them into existence and get them out there. But I think it's time that we all start demanding the future that we were promised and make it into a reality. I hope that made some sort of sense, like any sort of sense at all. And I hope you understand or feel the same way. But anyhow, go out there, do what you can to make a difference, and let's take the future back into our own hands. Toodaloo.